About to take off. Gonna cruise up and down the Ashley today. I like this little landing here. They've also got one over there, but it's harder to get to. Plenty of room to park here. So I like coming to this landing. And a couple of docks as well. There's also some walking trails, which is nice. Got my breakfast. Got my pole. Set the water. See you out there. We are off on our adventure down the river today. It's a ball or a buoy or some type of toy floating down with us. You can see the walking trail. There's a guy walking down the trail with his dog. Then there's like a bridge that goes over the marshy area. A couple gazebos. Really nice nature trail, as well as river to kayak down. Couple of bends, and then we're down to the straightaway. Beautiful day out today on the Ashley. I don't know how much fishing we're gonna get in, but we're definitely about to eat. See you guys in a few. All right, we made it to that stretch that I was talking about. Nice long stretch here. You can kind of just coast down. The tide is going out, so you can pretty much not have to paddle and just ride the current down. But I wanted to show you guys some of these gazebos and decks are just massive. Some of these houses are huge. Just really amazing architecture, and I would love to come hang out with some of these cats on the weekend. Let's throw a party at the lake mansion. Wow. So we're gonna float down for a little ways, and we'll see you guys then. Still haven't finished my breakfast, but we're working on it. All right, we made it down to the other public access landing. And after here, it pretty much just gets kind of wide open, but wanted to show you what this landing looks like. It's always closed. Not sure what the deal is with that, but sorry for the camera angles. It's really kind of windy out here, so, and the tide is going out. So I'm fighting that. There's another big house. My goodness, these houses. Sheesh. So yeah, we'll keep paddling. All right, got a little bit of fishing in, and we're headed back up river. And you can see tide is still coming down until 4 o'clock. Then it's gonna start going back up again, but headed back up river, and I grabbed a hold of this dock here so that I can keep my place and do this video for you guys and show you guys how far the tide has dropped. And another monster mansion, of course, but you can see the tide has dropped quite a bit, and it's not done. It is not done. We still got a few more hours of this. So if you want a good workout and then paddle up the river while the tide is going out. It is quite the workout, but that's why we're out here today. Get a good back workout in and see some scenery, soak up some sun rays, be on the water, all that kind of good stuff. But just giving you guys a little update where we're at. Headed back up the river, and I'm gonna try to catch that sandbar, do a video up there, see if we can find anything, look around for some shark's teeth and whatnot, seashells, whatever we can find. Maybe throw the rod out a few times there. So we'll see you when we get there. All right, we've made it to my spot. But as you can see, the tide has not gone down far enough for the sandbar that actually extends out to past that little log that you see there. Hopefully that's a log. But yeah, there's a sandbar under the water here that goes down along the side of the bank here. And it's normally a pretty big sandbar that I can dock the kayak on it, and enough room to even put a tent and all that kind of stuff out here. Not that I would advise that, but for obvious reasons. But you can see that we are here before the tide goes down and exposes the sandbar here, which is one of my favorite spots to hang out. Love hanging out on the sandbars, having a few beers, just chilling, doing a little bit of fishing, relaxing. That's what we're going to be doing for the next few hours while this tide goes down. I'm actually going to get in the water for a little bit. It's a little chilly, but man, had a pretty decent workout, and it's warm enough to where I can put my legs in. So gonna hang out for a little bit, and we'll catch you guys later. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, you guys. Been having some trouble uploading some videos, not getting any views or anything, but would love to meet you guys and have some more subscribers and friends. So see you guys next time. So you can see some of the bank is coming up. Still waiting for the tide to go completely down to where I can walk around on this sandbar. But while I'm sitting here, I can hear the tide and the current over there. The rapids, the little mini rapids, are just ripping right now as the current is falling. And I've never been in this particular spot while the tide dropped, but it's ripping over there, and I can just sit here and listen to it. Pretty impressed by how loud those little mini rapids, I guess you would call them. So I'm gonna be quiet so you can hear them. And of course there's a boat coming around as I am making a video. Of course, of course. So we'll just wait for it to die back down. Hit me with the waves. And all right, all the boats have passed. Maybe now, just maybe, we can have a little bit of quiet. There's a plane coming over. It's kind of like looking for the remote control. You're not gonna find it until you give it some time. There's something going on in the woods over there as well. There's like some birds. You can hear them. There was a great blue heron that was over there. Nice and peaceful now. All right, as you can see behind me, the sandbar is slowly coming out of the water. Tide is going away. Still got a few more hours till the tide goes all the way down, and you can see the sandbar is pretty big here. I'm gonna show you guys the kayak, where I've got the kayak at. Normally I would not advise getting out on the side of the river like this unless you're very familiar with the territory. And I'm going to show you guys that now, because this pluff mud is not anything to play around with, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. All right, you can see the sandbar here, the edges of it, where it just drops off about right there into nowhere. But this is the pluff mud that I was telling you guys about. I am familiar with the river, and this is a pretty established spot here. But you don't want to just get out anywhere, because you will just drop and sink into the mud here. The sandbar goes down about a little bit past that big log there, and right along here is a pretty dense part of the sandbar that you can stand on, but you got to be careful, because you can't just stand anywhere. You will sink into this pluff mud. But once the tide goes all the way down, then the sun, if it stays out, will dry up most of this, and a lot of this you will be able to walk around on once it gets good and dry. But now you can see what I was talking about. I love just hanging out on the sandbars, fishing from the bank, and chilling out here and watching the boats and the kayaks and stuff go by. So if you ever see me, just wave. See you guys in the next one. Alright, last video, I swear. But here you can see the pluff mud, how it just, you just sink into it. You just keep sinking. But update on the trip, paddle snapped. Cheap ass paddle here. So I was trying to paddle up with just one side of the paddle, and the current is just too strong, so I'm gonna have to wait it out. So I got about another hour or so till the tide comes back in, goes back up, and we can ride it back to the landing. Luckily, that's the landing, so we don't have far to go. But yeah, definitely have to get a new paddle, which I was going to do anyways, but that just expedited that. Doesn't look like much of a current, but right around here with only half a paddle, it's difficult. It's stronger current than it looks, and of course I've been sitting here for about 30 minutes, so Starting to ease up. Go back the other way. We'll see you guys on the flip side. This guy's been watching me the whole time. And then I got the blue herring over here. I filmed it catching a fish. Oh, he's over here now. Pretty cool. Been watching him. He's a lot better at fishing than I am. Somebody's got to catch him. Okay, so one last video. I think this is going to be the last one, but the tide is still not done going all the way out. You can kind of see now the end of the sandbar there. Been having some boats and jet skis ripping up and down here, so luckily I'm able to get a little bit of video off. But when it's nice, peaceful, and quiet, it's a nice spot to just kind of walk up and down and just hang out, kind of collect my thoughts and look for seashells and stuff. I don't ever find anything, but yeah, it is the weekend as well. Normally on like a weekday, it's a little bit more quiet. Not as many kids out here on the jet skis, but still a nice spot. I think I'm gonna have to find another sandbar though with maybe a little less traffic, because this is right next to the landing. But thanks for watching, you guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more adventures, because I've got a lot more adventures planned. Finishing up some bow rounds. And watching the boat traffic.